Good morning, New Mexico. This is Dennis, and you are joining the Melloy Auto Show right here on your radio. And we've got a lot to talk about this morning. We're going to be talking about cars the next hour, and we have got a lot to go over. I am joined today by all kinds of people. We got Todd Henry. Todd.
How's it going, guys?
Good. Chris.
How's it going, everyone?
Sitting in the corner. Noah's hanging out with us, and Jerry Wright.
Yeah.
How are you, Jerry?
I'm living the dream.
It is a beautiful day today. It's going to be a little bit warm and beautiful, but there is a lot going on.
Did you see everything coming in?
Yeah.
All the lowriders?
All the lowriders.
Chopped low. Nice. They were sweet.
Got something going on downtown, so come on downtown. Check out the lowriders. That puts you only about 20 minutes from Melloy in Los Lunas, where you can check out Ford, Chevrolet, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge. Anything else? No, that's it.
That's it.
Oh, and a bunch of used cars. I don't think we've got any lowriders, not on purpose.
Not yet.
Not yet. There's a couple of cars with some suspension problems, but that's not the same.
We could turn those into.
Yeah, we've got some questions that got emailed. If you are on Facebook, you can stream us live right now, right there. Just look up the Melloy Auto Show, and you will find us. We are streaming live right now, so you can see everybody in the office here. You can see Jerry waving. And but we've got a lot to talk about. You know, we have got so many things going on at the dealership. And during the auto show, we're going to answer a bunch of questions. We've got some car questions that got emailed. If you want to email us a question, radiocarquestions@gmail.com. If you want to text us a question live right here, 505-243-3333. The all-famous text line on 96.3 News Radio KKOB. Hey, Jerry.
Yeah.
What, last week you guys had an FM problem, and so you were
When a couple times.
You were only on 770
AM.
AM.
That was Thursday afternoon, wasn't it?
And nobody ever talks about 770.
Sure, we do.
We do?
We try. Well, not as much.
We never say it.
Yeah.
Y'all should listen on 770 AM. If you got an AM radio, crank that thing over to 770.
You can also listen on the interweb.
Oh, yeah. Or you can go to Facebook.
Or you could go to Facebook. Right now, you should go to Facebook.
Yeah.
Because we do the video on the Facebook.
I know.
And you're the only one who does that.
And we do, well, I figure we're talking about cars, and I don't know why I do it.
It's a visual.
Yeah, it's a visual thing. But we have got a bunch of stuff to talk about, but I think we should know who's listening on 770. Who actually listens on 770? I bet there's a bunch of people.
I do sometimes. My wife does.
I kind of like it, too. I like the way it sounds. But I'm old, so I like that stuff. But just a few things to mention down at the dealership. You know, we've got our Ford store, Chevy, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Memorial Day, that sale goes through Monday. So we have got a lot of specials going on, and yesterday was huge. We had so many people down there yesterday, and before we left today, I think service. I saw a bunch of people at Jeep service. Chevy.
Oh yeah,
Chevy was busy.
It's real busy.
And I didn't even walk up to Ford. Well, I did. I drove up there, but I didn't walk over to service. Were they busy this morning?
They were busy. I drove up into Ford just to drop off some things real quick before we headed up here, and man, Jerry Lynn and Manny had their hands full.
Yeah, but don't let that take away from you going down and seeing us, because we'll fit you in. If you're looking for an oil change today, we've got some oil change specials. Ford's got the Works special, and the Works special includes your oil change, tire rotation. We do a visual inspection on your vehicle, so we do a multi-point inspection. So come on down and do that. At Chevy, we've got the GM.
Well, we just drove in on that new EV too.
Oh,
that was really.
We drove it.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it
Long extension cord.
No, this is a new. It's a Equinox EV, and if anybody's watched us or listened to us before, you know Dennis is always talking about EVs, but this Equinox is pretty nice.
It is.
So it's a new redesign of the Equinox. The Chevy Equinox EV has a range of about 320 miles, and it's also got Super Cruise. You know, one show we talked about Blue Cruise right on Ford.
Yep.
So GM has Super Cruise, and it scared us a couple of times driving up.
Yeah, around that one corner was kind of scary,
but it stayed right dead center in the line.
It did.
It was so you take your hands off and just drive, and just set the cruise, and it goes. It'll adapt to how fast the car in front of you is going. If you want to change lanes, you just hit the turn signal, and it makes sure that your lane is clear on the side. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was trying to do that to us on the way up.
Yeah, it did it once, and we didn't know what it was doing, but we think we figured it out.
Yeah.
But we've got that going on. So if you're looking for a vehicle, get down to Los Lunas. Easy to find right on exit 203 on Interstate I-25. You'll see the Ford store, the Chevy store, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram last month, I mean, they had all kinds of specials, and they're carried over through the 3rd.
We also had a lot of coupons go out too. And a lot of them are coming in today.
Yeah. So if you were lucky enough to get a coupon, good for you. If not, you know what? Just say, hey, Todd told me on the radio that I could use a coupon.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do
that.
Yes, we can. So we've got a lot to talk about. We've got quite a few questions that we're going to get to. So most of our time today is going to be spent answering some car questions. So again, if you've got a car question, for instance, we've got a couple of questions about oil changes, and we've got a couple of questions about brake rotors and things like that. If you've got a car question and you'd like to get some answers to it, text us 505-243-3333, 505-243-3333, or email us radiocarquestions@gmail.com. If you're watching on Facebook, I've got that up on the screen so you can see that. Just send us an email, and we will try and get to your question today. And if not, we'll get back to you. We can email you an answer too. So last show we were talking a little bit about DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. And
I had to laugh at that
one. So Chris took a little trip this weekend with his diesel truck, or last weekend, DEF's a funny thing because there's a lot of components in that system, and Chris had a little problem.
So the problem I had, just to go over it real quick, we just had the DEF system. It's picky. It's a picky thing. That's all I gotta say. You're driving 1 minute, and there's a sensor in there that tells you the level. Driving 1 minute, says it's full. Next minute, it lights up red and says pull over. You're gonna start going reduced power. So good thing I had some with me. Fill it up to it's spilling out. Get back on the road, still trying to go, and it was counting down. It was in seconds again,
doing the countdown. So if you've got a diesel, a newer diesel, there's sensors in there. There's all kinds of stuff in there. If you've got a problem, we've got some experts that can take a look at it and fix it. Chris knows all about it now, and so
been diving into that system. Both Ford, Chevy.
We got Chris figured out.
We got it figured out, but it was just funny that we had over Memorial Day weekend. That's what Chris did. He spent his time on the DEF system on his truck, but we got it figured out, and he still likes his truck.
I still like it.
Yeah,
they already know. Everyone at the dealership gave me a hard time saying if I was going to trade it in. I said no, I like it.
So we got it figured out. But when we come back, we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to take a quick break. We are going to talk about a couple of our car questions that got emailed to us over the past couple of weeks. We're going to talk a little gladiator football, and we're going to do all of that on the Melloy Los Lunas Auto Show on your radio on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
From the primary to the inauguration.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial.
This was certainly a moment in American legal history, a moment in American political history, a moment in the life of the 45th president who hopes to become the 47th president.
Election coverage is powered by McDade Woodcock Incorporated, your commercial and residential electrical service contractor.
The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
This is New Mexico's election station. 96.3 News Radio KKOB.
When you say warranty, Melloy Los Lunas says forever. When you buy a new or pre-owned vehicle from Melloy Chevrolet, Melloy Ford, or Melloy Jeep, you get 2 years of included maintenance and warranty forever. Now that's some worry-free driving. So when you think warranty forever, think Melloy Los Lunas. Be worry-free, be happy, and get your next vehicle at Melloy Los Lunas.
See us for all the details or visit MelloyLosLunas.com.
Belong to Strauss. The House of Strauss lives right here. Weeknights at 6 on 96.3 News Radio KKOB. Gladiator Corner.
Welcome back to the Melloy Los Lunas Auto Show on your radio. That's right. It's time for Gladiator Corner, one of Jerry's favorite drops. You like that one, don't you?
I like that one.
Yeah. No, we usually talk to Fred Griggs. He's the head coach of the Duke City Gladiators. We do a little sponsorship with them, and they're in Tucson this week, and still searching for their first win. And I think because of the travel, I was unable to hook up with Fred this week. But every time that we talk about Gladiators football, we always remind you that if you are looking for your own Gladiator, get down to Melloy Jeep in Los Lunas and look at the Jeep Gladiators. They've been hot too. I tell you what, we had a customer yesterday looking at one, and as soon as they got in it, they loved it. I mean, if you're looking for a mid-sized truck, maybe if you're comparing a Ranger or a Colorado or a Tacoma or something like that, take a look at the Jeep Gladiator. They've got, it's a Jeep. It's got the removable top. You can remove the doors. Our office manager, Jessica's got one.
Yeah. Yep.
And she pulled up the other day and she had her doors off. And,
yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, she was all ready to roll in that. But those are great vehicles. So if you're looking for an alternative kind of truck and you want something different, check out the Jeep Gladiator. Run down to the store in Los Lunas today, or you can jump online at MelloyJeep.com and check out the Gladiator. But as far as the Duke City Gladiators, it looks like they're on this extended road trip, and so they're in Tucson tonight, and then they will be back. Not next week, but the week after. So I think the next time that we're on, we'll probably have Fred on and we'll talk a little Gladiator football. But let's roll into some car questions that we got. What do you say? And again, during the break, we asked Noah, Noah's Chris's son. Noah, tell us what your favorite car is.
A Lamborghini Urus.
We told him to say Ford, but he didn't do it. But that's okay. That's all right.
He gets a Lamborghini.
He gets a Lamborghini. So let's talk a little car questions. Again, if you've got a car question, 505-243-3333, text it to us. We'll get to it on the air. But speaking of Mustangs, this listener asked, he's got a Mustang GT. I don't know what year, but he said, should I add drilled brake rotors to my Mustang GT? So somebody tell me what's a drilled and slotted?
Well, high performance rotor, performance. Keeps it cool on heavy braking.
Yeah. And they say drilled's better for like in town driving and highway driving. It'll keep everything cooler. If he's going to be taking it to the track and he's going to put a little extra on there, probably go slotted.
You also got to remember too, on a slotted rotor, you can't resurface it. When you're ready to do your brakes, you got to put new slotted and drilled rotors on it.
Now, I know a big name in brakes is Brembo, right? That's
Brembo.
All the manufacturers are using Brembo now.
They all use them. But I think that Ford also has, and probably General Motors, and I know Jeep offers what's it called? Magneti Marelli, yeah. So kind of the high end there. But there's some options, right? You don't just have to go with Brembo. I think Ford offers a performance.
They got Ford performance.
Yeah, I think they're kind of developing their own brake systems like that too.
And is it a good thing to put on your car?
Yeah, I mean it's a good upgrade. Yeah. It is.
Is it cost more?
It does cost.
It does. Yeah.
It will cost a little bit more, but you'll be stopping a lot better. If that's what you're looking for.
Especially if you're going to be driving it. Also, Chris, have like four to six pucks in that caliper that stop it. So the pistons there's a lot more pistons in it.
So if you were going to change the rotors, should you look at changing the calipers and your pads too?
Calipers are good. Yeah. Pads, I would.
Now,
but it just depends on how hard you're braking. So you might be putting brakes on it. If it's a GT and it's one of those 700 horse ones, I'd put some slotted and drilled rotors on it too.
So just so that everybody, and maybe we got some non-car people that just happen to be on 770 KKOB or 96.3 or just watching us on Facebook. So when we talk about that, we say it all the time, but when we're talking about brakes, so you've got the rotor, and the rotor's the big. I'm drawing a picture. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm drawing a picture. If it's the rotor is the big part, the round part that looks like a wheel. And then when we talk about a caliper and pads, what's that?
That's like sitting on top of the rotor.
Yeah, it slides down over on each side of the rotor with that pad. That's what makes contact with the rotor.
So the caliper fits right, and again, I'm showing you on the radio here. The caliper sits on top, and then inside that caliper, or attached to the caliper, are the brake pads.
Correct.
And so you can, when we talk about that, when we think about changing, like there's a question later on about somebody doing their own oil change and that kind of thing. When you talk about somebody maybe doing a self job and they want a DIY, I want to change my own brakes. How easy is that?
I mean, if you're mechanically inclined, I mean, it's not that bad. Also, you got to remember too, if you're doing brakes, you got quite a few miles on it. Do a brake flush to get rid of that fluid, because it gets just as dirty as engine oil does. So. Okay. You want that brake fluid new as well.
Okay.
Can I share? When I was a kid, the two things I learned from my dad helping fix the brakes is, first of all, I learned all the good curse words. And second of all, I learned take it to somebody because you don't know what the heck you're doing.
Brakes are important. If you don't know what you're doing, leave it to someone.
Bring it to us.
Yeah. I can change my own oil. Brakes, I'm not going to touch. That's just.
We'll get it taken care of for you.
You're going to stop.
And I also learned that in a Mercury Zephyr, you don't adjust the carburetor yourself, because that was during the 70s when they were the high fuel efficiency carburetors that you could never get the idle set right.
So there's an answer, Mr. Mustang GT man, or I don't know. I guess I assumed it was it could be Miss Mustang GT lady. I don't know. But anyway, if you've got a Mustang GT and you're looking for an upgrade on your vehicle, that might be a good upgrade. And if you need some help doing it, come down and see Chris. He'll hook you up. They could do brakes on mobile too, right?
Yes, we can. We can come out to you too. So
yeah,
whatever you like.
We've got mobile service at Ford, and in a couple of weeks we've got a meeting at Chevy.
Yeah, we're looking into that.
We're going to start rolling it out at Chevy too. So we've got mobile service. If you've got something that you need to get done, we can come out to you for service. 505. 451-0714, 505-451-0714. That's the number to the store, and or you can just email us, and we can get in touch with you and set up a mobile visit if you want to get your brakes done, Miss or Mrs. Mustang GT person, non-specific, non-gender specific. Okay, next question. Okay, I'll ask this question. I don't know the answer. I have to replace the battery on my Toyota Prius hybrid. Is it worth it? Wow, what a question.
I mean, basically, I guess it boils down to, do you like the car?
Yeah.
Because I think, I'm not real sure what the Toyotas run, but I know that in a lot of the GM batteries for the hybrids are around $3,000-$4,000.
Yeah.
So and I think for the Fords are even a little more.
The hybrids?
Yeah, the hybrids are a little more expensive. They usually say you get about 10 years out of them. So if you really like the car, that's the motor behind it. So change it out. Just to have a brand new car
you still get good gas miles too. I mean, that's in-town driving with that hybrid. It's crazy. I mean, you get 40-some miles a gallon.
Yeah.
So.
And, more and more, a lot of the manufacturers were making the switch, and we've got until 2026 to make to switch to 40% EV hybrid mix. And so a lot of the manufacturers are moving more towards those hybrid vehicles. But that battery component of it, it's a lot like Chris said. If you like the car, even though it's a Toyota, that's okay. If you like the car and it's a daily driver and you think, okay, if it's $4 or $5,000, maybe it's worth it.
Yeah.
And if not, we'll give you good trade value. Come see us.
Heck yeah.
We'll trade that thing in.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get you another warranty.
Oh, can I say that, Jerry? I can say hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Sure, okay. Yeah. That's not one of the seven deadly words.
I was going to push the red button over here, but come see us. And I don't know, could we do that? Or is that a Toyota deal?
We'd have to take a look at it. They're pretty basic. So, I mean, there's a lot of, the voltage on those are like 300 volts. So you got to get somebody that knows what they're doing to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we're EV certified and we're hybrid certified on our stuff. So I don't know if we could do that, but we could sure look at it and see.
Sure.
And if we can't, we'll trade you. Okay. And I guess one of the other things, too, is that if you did upgrade that and you got a Toyota battery, or even like with a GM or a Ford hybrid, if you replaced it, that would have a warranty on the hybrid battery that we replaced, right?
Yeah.
You have another battery warranty.
Yeah.
It'll just start back over on that battery.
Okay. So if you want to get that done, either come see us or visit one of the Toyota stores. But yeah, it might be worth it. I don't know. It just depends on what the rest of your car looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
So listen. We're getting to the bottom of the hour. Looks like I got about 30 seconds left, and I just want to tell you, if you are looking for a vehicle, get down to Melloy today. This is the Memorial Day sale has rolled through Monday, so we are making deals and just making dreams come true. If you're looking for a vehicle, come down and see us in Los Lunas. Melloy Ford, Melloy Chevrolet, Melloy Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. They're down there ready to serve you. We're doing leases. We've done a ton of leases the past few days. We're doing leases. We've got excellent financing. They've got rates as low as 0% on a lot of vehicles. So just come down and see us. And we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes on the Melloy, I forgot where we were, on the Melloy Los Lunas Auto Show on your radio.
On what stations?
On 96.3 News Radio, KKOB, and 770.
Thank you.
When you say warranty, Melloy Los Lunas says for...
I was hoping you'd say 770.
Buy a new or pre-owned vehicle from Melloy Chevrolet, Melloy Ford, or Melloy Jeep. You get 2 years of included maintenance and warranty forever. Now that's some worry-free driving. So when you think warranty forever, think Melloy Los Lunas. Be worry-free, be happy, and get your next vehicle at Melloy Los Lunas. See us for all the details or visit MelloyLosLunas.com.
On it.
This is Jerry's second favorite drop. Tech Corner.
All right.
Well, you got music too and everything. I like it. So yeah, we've been talking about some tech questions here on the Melloy Los Lunas Auto Show, right here on your radio on 770 News Radio KKOB 96.3 also. We're pushing 770. I don't know why I got on that kick this week. But we've been talking about some tech questions. So far, we've covered, what did we cover? We covered slotted and drilled brake rotors. We talked about a hybrid battery and changing that out. Okay, so this one is a little more in our ballpark, I think. This is more in our wheelhouse.
Okay.
So I've got an email here, and if you've got a question, we've still got room on the text line, 505-243-3333. I'm staring at the text screen right here. So if you've got a question, do that. Don't forget, you can join us on Facebook Live. Just look at the Melloy Auto Show on Facebook. Okay, so he or she has a 2015 Ram 1500 with a 5.7. Yep, it's got a Hemi. Okay, so he's got a code that the mechanic says is a crankshaft sensor. The question is, what is that, and can I replace it on my own?
On some of the 5.7 Hemis, what we've seen is it's behind the front balancer, the crankshaft balancer, and it correlates the timing. So the ECM and the crankshaft sensor work together. It keeps your timing in performance. So if you start getting if you get a light, you will get a correlation code, and then it could run rough. It could do a few other things. So if it does have that code, that sensor does need to be replaced. And you probably notice that it's kind of driving a little different. The engine's run a little different, but you'd have to look at it. You might be, if you're mechanically inclined a little bit, yeah, you could probably replace it yourself.
But wouldn't they have to reprogram it? Or
well,
like
not
that?
necessarily.
Clear
because
the
the
code?
ECM, yeah, they'd have to clear the code, though, yeah.
So
you could cycle the key
Yeah,
a few
okay.
times to clear it, but yeah, I mean, that's something that it's really not all that expensive, and I think that if whoever's asking the question, I think I'd just have somebody do it and just get it done.
what do you think it costs for that?
Yeah, probably, the GM was probably around $80-$90 for that sensor, maybe around $100.
Oh,
And then labor's maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny when I look at these questions, because I ain't that smart. I don't know this stuff, so I jump online and I search these questions, right? And so when I searched the question, the internet told me that everything Todd just said was exactly what the internet told me. So forget about going to the internet. Just call Todd. Just ask Todd questions. Because
I like the question Jerry said about the air conditioning in that old car, with the little box hanging out of the window.
Yeah, back in the day. This is back in 1980, 1982, 1983. I was working at a gas station, and our mechanic had an old, a 52 Chevy, beautiful, and it was a swamp cooler.
Yeah,
it looked like a jet engine that he attached to his window, and it was I always thought it was the coolest thing. It looked like, that really makes him go fast.
Yeah. You just throw some ice in it, and you got air conditioning.
Oh, there you go. Okay. See, I don't know that either. But yeah, if you've got a car question, apparently between Chris and Todd, we have like the encyclopedia of car questions here. So don't let that go by the wayside. We can answer the question. But yeah, one of the things that they brought up online was, you could drive with that engine light on, but it could also create some serious damage on your engine.
Correct, gas mileage as well too, because it can create misfires in certain cylinders, and it can do some things.
Yeah, and it's not a hard job, so we can knock that out pretty quick. So if you want to come see us at any of the stores, sounds like you've got the Ram. If you want to go to the Ram store in Los Lunas, just give us a call or jump online, and you can set. With all three stores. Speaking of that, if you need something done on your vehicle, you can schedule an appointment with any of our service departments, either by giving us a call or just jump online. MelloyFord.com, MelloyChevrolet.com, MelloyJeep.com. You can schedule your service right there online. It'll show you what times are available, and it'll let you pick from some jobs, and you can schedule that. So probably a good idea to get that done. And a 2000 Ram 1500 with the 5.7, that would make a good trade as well.
Yes,
so
would.
If you decide, you know what, I don't want to do that, I'm going to trade it, we'll help you out there too. Over on that side of the table is all the service guys. I'm over here trying to sell cars. Okay, so
we got the best of both worlds.
Yes, we do. All right, this is probably my favorite question of the week. I don't have a favorite question of the week intro for this, but this is probably my favorite question of the week. I just started changing my own oil. Okay, I've been putting the oil in a bucket. So I guess they changed their oil, and then they have a bucket, and they've been pouring oil in this bucket. The bucket is now full. What should I do with it? Should I pour it down the sink?
No.
Jerry jumped on right away. The answer is no. Don't pour it down this. Come on, really?
You can, if you put it in different containers and cap it, you can take it into any of the oil centers or even at dealerships, and they'll take it and put it in their used tank for you.
And that's a big question. There's we have a company that comes out, and we have all this oil that we end up changing, right? And we have drums, and we have big big
500-gallon tanks
that we have to store that oil in. So it sounds like a funny question, but it's really not, because we do the same thing. We just don't have it in a bucket.
Yeah.
We've got it in a big tank.
Bucket.
Big bucket.
You just imagine
have a truck come
letting
pump
that
it.
stack up for a while.
Yeah. But some of the options to that, because if you dispose of that oil correctly, if you take it either to a lube center or wherever you take it, that oil goes back, and they actually recycle some of that oil.
Correct.
And they do other things with that oil. So don't just pour it down the sink, please. Get it to a disposal center. That's one of the reasons that on a lot of items like tires and I love New Mexico. I really do. I mean, it's a beautiful place to live. We were out in our Silverado last weekend, and we went out on the Mesa. We went out on the West Mesa.
Yeah.
A lot of tires.
And everywhere you look, there's tires.
They just go out there and throw them.
And it's like, come on, people, stop.
As many as you find, you could they build houses with them now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But there are recycling centers for all of that stuff, and as a dealership, we have to do that. I mean, we have somebody come pick up the tires. We have somebody come pick up the used oil. We have somebody come pick up the metal parts that we dispose of. And a lot of that stuff gets recycled. Yep. With the tires, they make those tires into asphalt, and they make it into all kinds of things now.
The oil goes into pavement, and there's a lot of things they do with it.
Don't dump it down the sink. Don't take it out to the West Mesa and dump it out on there. Don't take your tires out there. Just get them recycled. It doesn't cost you anything. No. You just got to go to. I mean, even the city, I think, or the county,
they'll take them.
has recycling centers.
Yep.
Just do that, please. We were out driving around, and we were driving around in Silverado just dodging tires. We were like, and again, I'm on the radio I'm showing you me driving. If you're watching on Facebook, you can see me.
You're part Italian, aren't you? You talk with your hands.
I don't know. Okay. So we have got we've covered all kinds of stuff, but I got one more question that came in, and I don't have anything on the text line yet. What is going on, people? Are you not listening to 770 KKOB? Give me a text.
Oh, they're listening.
505-243-3333. Text us some car questions. We got a couple minutes left. But we've got an interesting question. This one, actually, I never really thought of. I mean, I guess I had, but I really didn't think about it. So this person's driving to Mexico this summer for the first time. Not New Mexico. They're going to Mexico. Is the gas the same in Mexico? Anybody know?
Pemex,
I'm sure it has to be. Yeah. I'm sure it has to be because, I mean, they've got gas engines down there that are the same as what we have here. So the octane ratings and all that have to be very similar or probably exact. Yeah.
They're probably not doing the blend, though, are they, down in Mexico?
Well, maybe they're running like 95 octane. It's really good gas. I don't know. I haven't been down to Mexico for quite some time now.
Back in the 80s when I lived in El Paso,
a lot of things that happened
sometimes
to you.
Sometimes I go over to Juarez to gas up because it was better gas and it was cheaper.
There you go.
Didn't have the tax on it.
Yep. All right. Well, again, I did the internet thing because this one I was like, I don't know. We just work. The three of us just work. It's like we don't get to go to Mexico. So according to the internet, wherever the internet told me this, is that yes, in fact, the same kind of ratings, like a 87 or a 92, is out there. The only thing that you have to be mindful of is gas prices in Mexico tend to be higher than the United States. That's what the internet tells me. But yeah, your diesel fuel. It did say this, Chris. When you go put gas in your diesel, what color's the pump?
If I'm putting gas in my diesel, I'm going to have a whole nother problem.
He caught me. He caught me. If you've got, but normally you'd be looking for that green handle, right?
Diesel, is it yellow over the?
Apparently in Mexico, it's a blue gas pump for diesel.
Didn't know that.
I don't know that
green
either.
and yellow.
Yeah.
According, I don't know. The internet told me. That might not be true. But anyway, but yeah, it did say that everything's pretty similar.
Yeah, blue down here actually. If you go, I think blue on the handle when the truck stops is for the DEF.
For the DEF.
Yeah,
I believe.
That could really mess you up.
That could mess you up.
We've had it happen too.
Yeah,
we've had that discussion. Yeah, do not put DEF in your diesel tank. Don't do that. Put
careful.
DEF in your DEF tank.
Exactly.
That is bad news. Okay, when I saw that question, I got to thinking. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. What if I wanted to jump in the Equinox EV and drive to Mexico?"
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. So I hit the internet again. The internet tells me that Mexico has been building an infrastructure of EV chargers, and that there are EV chargers in Mexico. So if you wanted to drive your Equinox EV and head on down to Mexico, lucky dog, you could. I don't know where the chargers are. I don't know what kind of condition they're in, but yeah.
Is it the same plugs though?
Yes. It is. It's the
that's Tesla standard.
So there's the Tesla standard, and then the Chadco, which is the one that the simple plug, and then the high speed plug. So all of those are the same. And in fact, there is a system of Tesla superchargers down there. A lot of the manufacturers, Ford and Chevrolet, and a lot of the manufacturers have now switched so that you can use that supercharger as well.
Yeah.
And you can usually get an adapter, and you can usually.
Yeah, that was the issue a while back. They had you couldn't use some of the other chargers for some of the vehicles.
And they're trying to work that out.
Yeah.
You can buy gas in Mexico. Good news, and you can charge your EV. So there you go. But I thought that was an interesting question. I like that one. Okay, so we're going to take our last break here on the Melloy Los Lunas Auto Show on your radio. And just remember, if you're looking for a vehicle, the Memorial Day special is going on all weekend through Monday. Down in Los Lunas, Melloy Chevrolet, Melloy Ford, Melloy Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Melloy Ford. They've got financing as low as 0%. Plus, you can get rebates. So, like on a Ford Edge, you can get 0% financing plus $3,000. At Chevrolet, you can get financing as low as 1.9% on a Silverado, and you can get financing as low as 2.9, I think, at Jeep on select vehicles. Plus, they've got some huge rebates, like the Gladiator. You can still get 9% off MSRP, which could be $6,000 or $7,000 off the price of a Gladiator. So when we come back, we're going to wrap up. We're going to answer a couple more questions. Right. Again, if you've got a question, just text us 505-243-3333, and we'll be back in just a minute on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
This Father's Day, treat your dad to a Grill Master prize pack with $200 and no bowl prime meats from Brett Rizzi, a Disket grill, and a 4-pack of Isotopes tickets. All you have to do is show us your dad's meat. Use hashtag #TweetYourMeat on X and you'll be entered. Show us your dad hanging, hard at work on the grill, and you could win this handsome package. Use hashtag #TweetYourMeat with a picture of dear old dad, and you'll be entered. And follow us at KKOB Radio on X.
When you say warranty, Melloy Los Lunas says forever. When you buy a new or pre-owned vehicle from Melloy Chevrolet, Melloy Ford, or Melloy Jeep, you get 2 years of included maintenance and warranty forever. Now that's some worry-free driving. So when you think warranty forever, think Melloy Los Lunas. Be worry-free, be happy, and get your next vehicle at Melloy Los Lunas. See us for all the details or visit MelloyLosLunas.com.
Welcome on back to the Melloy Los Lunas Auto Show on your radio on 96.3 News Radio KKOB and 770 KKOB. We had somebody texted us here on 243-3333. Somebody's texted us and said that they've listened to 770 KKOB for 43 years now. Woohoo! You go on with your bad self. That is an awesome place to listen to the radio. So we've also got, there was a couple of other questions that came in on the text line. Finally, y'all started texting us. Thanks. Okay, so this is a question from 0083. They've got a 2014 GMC Terrain. Pretty good vehicle. That's a good one. Got an air conditioner motor that's intermittent, and wondered what that might cost to have it fixed. So there's a couple of things on that before I get to Todd. It could be the motor, it could be the compressor.
Blower motor.
Yeah. And then also, some of those earlier years up underneath where that blower motor is for the air conditioning and the heater, there's a diode and a connector, and sometimes they get hot. And if you only have high speed on, when you turn it on, you don't have any low speeds on the blower motor. If it's on, it only goes to high, you might have a connector problem. But if it's intermittent like that, something we need to take a look at.
Okay.
It could be a couple of things.
Okay. So it's hard for us to say how much it would cost because we don't know. It could be something as simple as a fuse or a wire that's loose. Yeah, a connector that's loose.
Yeah, they make a harness that replaces that. They get hot sometimes.
Yeah. But the follow-up question there is, where can I take it? Well, you can go see Todd.
Yeah, bring it to us. We'll get you taken care of.
Yeah. Just say, hey, Todd told me on the radio to bring in my GMC Terrain and fix this thing.
We can give them a little discount.
Yeah, we'll give you the radio show.
They got to say it though.
Radio show discount coupon. This is the radio show coupon.
Yeah,
I heard it on the radio. But yeah, come on down and we can take a look at that. We were talking. Todd and I were talking to a customer yesterday or the day before, we were talking to a customer that had gotten into a car accident, and we were doing some repairs on their vehicle. I think it was yesterday. And to us, when we looked at it, it was like, man, they might want to total this thing.
Yeah.
Because it had affected the frame on the vehicle.
Yes, it did.
And one of the things and I wanted to talk to you guys about one of the things, and this doesn't have anything to do with a car question necessarily, but it's got to do with if you've got a car financed. One of the comments that the customer made to us was, man, I really hope that they don't total it because it'll cost them money, because this customer owed more, just like all of us. I mean, I owe more than my car is worth. I think if you've got a car financed, pretty much you owe more than it's worth.
Yeah.
But this customer stated that, he thought it would cost him a lot of money if they totaled it. Because what happens is when the insurance company comes in and says, let's say they totaled this car, they're going to look at what the car is worth, what the value is of the car, and then that's what they're going to pay. There are some variations to that, but most of the time the car insurance is going to pay what it's worth. And that doesn't mean what you owe. It means what it's worth. So in this situation, for example, the car that this person was driving, the customer's car was probably worth $30,000, and they owed $40,000 as round numbers, because I ain't that smart. But that's a $10,000 difference, and he's right. If they total this thing out, and the insurance company pays, he may left owing some money. Mm-hmm. So there's something that when you buy a vehicle, and I hope you come down and see us. I mean, we do this show, and it's fun. We get to hang out with Jerry, and
it's a blast.
Yeah, it really is. It's a lot of fun. We get to answer some silly questions, and we get to be a little bit silly on Facebook, but we try and do our best for our customers, and we hope that when you hear us on here, you realize that, hey, we're just people. We just want to do the best thing for our customers, and that's pretty much what all three of us do at work. I mean, we just kind of take care of customers.
Yep. Every day.
Sometimes we drop the ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just drop the ball. And it's not often, but sometimes we do. And what we do is we go in and fix it. Yep. And we just try and take care of our customers.
Take care of them.
And but when you're buying a vehicle, whether it's from us or whether it's from another dealership, if you're financing that vehicle, whether it's through your insurance company or whether it's through where you're buying the vehicle or whether it's through the bank or whatever, look for a product called Gap Insurance. I have it on every one of my vehicles. Every time I buy a vehicle, I have Gap Insurance, and I've never had I guess I did. I had a Ford Fiesta. What did I have? I had a Focus. Back when the stores used to be Brad Francis. I had this red Ford Focus, and I was driving to work from Rio Rancho one day. Some lady pulled out in front of me, and I totaled that thing. But I had Gap Insurance. Now, it was her fault, so it didn't really fall on my Gap Insurance. But if she did not have insurance, or if it was my fault and I had done that, I would have owed like $10,000.
Yeah.
So when you buy a vehicle and you finance it, check on Gap Insurance. And I'm telling you that just to say that because we dealt with that customer yesterday, and it makes us feel bad, because we're like, man, we kind of hope they total it, and then the customer's like, no, please don't.
Well, it's hard for us to do anything after that. I mean, we're kind of stuck.
Yeah. But anyway, that's what we do. So if you want to deal with just some real people that hang out on the radio an hour every week and come down and get your car fixed, do that. If you've got questions, give us a call at the dealership, 505-451-0714. You can ask for Chris. You can ask for Todd. You can ask for Steven. Steven's our other service manager. I tried to get Steven to come with us today, and he looked at me like I was insane. He's like, I'm not getting on the radio. But that's how Chris felt when he first got on there. Chris was scared to death to be on the radio. Now he's like, is it time for the radio? Let's go. But it's fun. We like coming on here. We like dealing with y'all. Thank you for sending us questions. Email us questions over the next couple of weeks at radiocarquestions@gmail.com. If you want an immediate answer, 505-451-0714. That's the number of the dealership. And no kidding, if you're looking for a vehicle this weekend, get on down to Los Lunas. Check us out at the Ford store, the Chevy store, the Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram store. Don't forget about our fleet and commercial department. They are just rolling. We've gotten
a lot of vehicles.
We have gotten They got Tahoes all over the place. They're delivering vehicles to the state, to the county, all over the place. And if you've got a company and you want fleet vehicles, come down and see us for that. But whatever you need, if you need service, come down and see me, Todd, or Chris. Go see Steven. Tell him he should get on the radio. And whatever you need, we're here to serve you. Check us out online at MelloyLosLunas.com. Give us a phone call again, 505-451-0714. Radio car questions at gmail.com. Set us up for next time we're on the radio. We'll be on in a couple of weeks. Right, Jerry?
Right, Jerry Wright.
With our favorite producer, Jerry Wright.
I'm your only producer.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I better be at least in your top 5.
I'm not cheating. Yeah. But this is Dennis Taylor from Melloy and Los Lunas on the Melloy Los Lunas radio show on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB, and 770 AM.
Can't forget 770.
No, never forget 770.